Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is slightly different. We are doing a period and endometriosis video. So since I was about 15, 16, or when I was 16, I got diagnosed with endometriosis and had lots of issues with it since then. So that was what, 8 years ago? And it's been about 9 or 10 years since I actually started having all the pain. But so I'll go through like what endometriosis is and stuff, and then sort of things that I do to help it, and then just general period talk. So if you get a bit squeamish, you're not gonna like it. Just the way it is, that's kind of what happens with periods and especially endometriosis. So what is endometriosis, or endo as people that like me call it because it's easier to type? You know, it's a hard word to spell for a lot of people. Endometriosis is a long-term condition where the tissue that's similar to the sort of lining of the womb grows in other places. So it can be in your ovaries, in your fallopian tubes. I get mine on my bladder and my bowel, but it can be in different places. In really rare cases, it's been found in the gums and on the brain, but that is really rare. There is no cure for endometriosis, which is rubbish. Something we have to deal with. There is treatments that you can undergo to sort of help ease it. So you can have different medications. So I have different types of painkillers. So I do have to take paracetamol and ibuprofen anyway. But on top of that, I have to take diclofenac and tramadol and amitriptyline. And then you can sort of get hormone sort of tablets and just hormonal sort of balances. So I've been on pretty much every contraceptive pill you can be to sort of balance my hormones. They either didn't work and made my pain worse, or you know, or they just made it worse in the sense of I just bled continuously. There's like the implant and stuff that I've not had, and then there's the Depo-Provera injection. I had that in November and continuously through to January, when it sort of wore off, I bled every day apart from 3 days in which I had light spotting. I didn't have a single day where I didn't have to wear either a pad or a panty liner. So, you know, not ideal. But that's not to say it doesn't work for everyone, because my wife is now on the Depo-Provera injection, and she's not had a single issue. She thinks it's great. My mum used to have the Depo-Provera injection. She thinks it's great. Well, she's now on the implant. So again, my wife and my mum don't have endometriosis, but it works in general for sort of periods. And obviously me and my wife aren't using a contraceptive, but I know a lot of people that have had either the injection or the implant, and it has sort of worked as it's meant to. But obviously there's always going to be the rare cases where it doesn't work as it's meant to. Another thing you can get done for endometriosis is surgery. So the only way you can be fully diagnosed with it, they can say, or we think you have it, here's what you can do to help. But the only way to be 110% diagnosed is if you have surgery and they see it and remove it. I had surgery in September 2014, so 6 years ago. I just turned 18, I think. Yes, I was 18 in the June, had surgery in September, and basically I had laparoscopy, which means they cut open your belly button and a few other holes in your stomach, put camera through your belly button and then have a look. They found endometriosis and adenomyosis. So they removed the endometriosis and the adenomyosis. That's a different, adenomyosis is a completely different thing. People say they're the same. They are not the same, they're completely different, but that's a story for another day. But yes, they burned out my endometriosis, but it does grow back. And mine, I was okay, never been okay, but my endometriosis, I was just saying endo. My endo did not affect me for about 12 to 18 months after I got my surgery. So although I was like laid up for like just over a month or something because of my surgery, it was kind of like better. Whilst I had my surgery, I had the Mirena coil put in. That did not help either. So I had that put in September, got it taken out in the March because it was just making me feel really sick all the time. My skin was breaking out all the time. Like I was bleeding really irregularly. Oh, I can't even speak today. But yeah, there's treatments, but there's no cure. The biggest symptoms of endometriosis are sort of lower tummy and back pain, sort of like in your abdomen and your pelvis. And I get mine all the time, but it is worse on a period for me. Excruciating sort of pain that is like debilitating and stops your usual, even simple activities. Like some days I get so bad that I can't even have a bath or a shower on my own and have to get Joanne to help me. Or like just walking hurts, sitting up hurts. It's a horrible thing to have. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, to be honest. Another one is pain during or after, or both. During or after sex, or both. I am in a couple of endometriosis groups on Facebook, and I know a lot of women that suffer with this to the point it has like broken down their relationships. I am quite lucky in the sense I don't really get pain during sex, occasionally crampy afterwards, but nothing too debilitating. You know, and I am lucky in that sense because there is a lot of women that just, they can't even think about having sex because it's too painful, like to have sex. This one's a bit more grim, but a lot of pain when you are either like weeing or pooing while you're on your period. That is very painful. But also you get nauseous. Me, all the time. As soon as like the week before my period is due, I get very PMSy anyway. I always have, but I get even worse with my pain. And I feel very sick all the time on my period. I feel sick all the time. Like I don't want to eat because I feel sick, but then I feel sick because I've not eaten. But then I also have this extra nausea, and it's horrible. And it can go from either like this end of constipation or this end of, hi, I'm diarrhea. So there's no happy medium with it. You're either one or the other, or you fluctuate between both, which I know quite a few people do. I don't know which one I would, probably a bit TMI, but I told you at the beginning this is going to be a very honest video. I lean more towards the constipated end, so I've actually been told I need to take laxatives and stuff, and it tastes disgusting, so I try not to take it unless I need to. But I don't know, I think I would rather have that than have diarrhea and constantly be needing to go, but you know. Another thing of endometriosis is difficulty getting pregnant. I was told when I was 15 or 16 that I would never have children, and then when I was 18 I got admitted to the hospital because I thought I had appendicitis, did routine tests, and actually I was pregnant. I did then have to have a second surgery because they thought it was ectopic. It was not, but then I did miscarry, and then I miscarried again later on. When I was 20, I spent my 20th birthday in hospital because they said my body had sort of reabsorbed the baby. It did not, and then in August I miscarried, even though the baby had died at like 9 weeks or 11 weeks. But yeah, the baby had died quite young. It hadn't even started to properly form, but it was still in my body until technically 24 weeks. But obviously there was nothing really I could do, and I was at home on my own, and it just wasn't good. And then obviously I found out I could get pregnant. My body's probably just not strong enough to sort of go full term, but I also have pernicious anemia, so it could just be that my body's fighting off the baby, and being like, no, you don't belong in here, thinking it's something that's gonna make me ill. Obviously not, but you know, at the moment children are not on my agenda. Well, me and Joanne we've had conversations about children, and you know, maybe in the future, but for now I'm quite happy with my cats. They are my baby, they're my little children, I love them. They probably don't feel the same about me, but they are my babies. But yeah, you know, there's obviously more than one way to have a child nowadays, so I'm sure when it comes to it, we'll work it out. With me, I do get very, very sick, to the point where not that I'm always physically sick, but I feel very, very sick. I get migraines quite a lot when my period is due on, or when I'm on my period. And I don't even know how to explain this, but basically when I get migraines due to my periods and my endometriosis, it's because I have low blood sugar level, and I think it's because I don't eat because I feel sick, and then my blood sugar gets low. So the best thing for me is like a Snickers or a Mars bar. If I've got a migraine, I can guarantee the first thing I will want is a Mars bar. If I want to switch it up, I'll have a Snickers, but I love a Snickers anyway. But yeah, so I get very nauseous, as I said, get constipated, not ideal. It sounds ridiculous because it's obviously in your reproductive system that it's affected you, but it gets so bad I can't even like lift my arms like this. Like, I literally can't wash my hair or anything. I literally have to sit in the bath and get Joanne to wash my hair and whatnot because I'm in so much pain. Sometimes I've like been on the floor and been in so much pain she's had to literally like drag me up or help me out of bed. Not ideal, but you know, she's great, she helps me. Also related to endometriosis is very heavy periods. When I was younger, it literally got to the point I would bleed for about 28 days, be off my period, if that's what you can call it, for about a week, and then be back on for another 28 days. I literally had to carry this huge bag with me everywhere with towels, spare underwear, spare clothes, lots of pads and tampons, because I'd literally go through pads and tampons within like an hour sometimes. But you know, it's just something we have to deal with. As I said, there is no cure, which isn't ideal, but we'll go with it. I am currently waiting on a letter to have my gynecology appointment rescheduled because thanks to COVID it got cancelled. So I'm waiting on a new one, and my gynecologist basically told me that my only option now is surgery. I'm no longer allowed any hormonal treatments because my hormones are so imbalanced. If I try to balance them, they go from being this imbalanced to being this imbalanced to being this imbalanced. We're never equal. So yeah, I get very, very moody. And I do feel bad for Joanne because she obviously just has to deal with my moods. But a lot of the time it's because I'm in so much pain I sort of don't know how to act. And I don't really want to spend my entire life crying, so I tend to just get angry instead, which is obviously not a good thing. But yeah, so there's lots of crying, lots of angriness. The best thing for me, if anyone who knows me, especially my mum, she will vouch for this, and she probably hated this at the time. When I get really, really flary, if I can't eat because I feel sick, the one thing that I can always keep down is egg fried rice from a Chinese. Like literally after my surgery, all I wanted to do was eat egg fried rice and Mars bars, and occasionally a chocolate milkshake. But now it's literally, you know, I'm poorly when I want cups of tea because I don't really like tea. I'm much more a coffee person. But yeah, I'll drink gallons of tea and just curl up and watch TV and movies and whatnot. But I do have a few little things that I will show you that, I mean, they probably don't help with my endometriosis, but you know. So I actually got this the other day, if I can get it out. So this is a little bracelet. Let's put it over the back of my hand so you can see it. So it's just got 4 little crystals on them, and these are from a lovely little a lovely little shop on Etsy, and the name is Hailing Studio. I will put a link to her Etsy shop down below. She does lots of different things. She does fertility, pregnancy, endometriosis, fibromyalgia, anxiety, depression, just general things, and they are amazing. So then you get a little card with it that tells you what everything is. But I got this one for me, and then I got an anxiety one for Joanne. Not that she's actually taken hers out and worn it yet. I actually only just took mine off yesterday. I've had it on continuously. But when my endometriosis is really bad, especially when I'm on my period, I get very, very on edge and in so much pain. I have to take tramadol, and that just makes me very agitated and itchy and sort of off my face, but it's not great. But so for my endometriosis, this next thing is a godsend, and it's a heat patch. You can guarantee I always have one in my bag. I literally bought 16 heat patches the other day in Costco because literally I get in so much pain. They are great. If I'm at home, I use a hot water bottle, but sometimes they're just better because you can just stick them on and leave them. But period wise, obviously the messiest part of endometriosis, the messiest part of being a woman, unless you have a child, is a period. So I'll just show a few little things that I use during my period to sort of, well, it's just period products. So this is tampon. This is what I'd use usually. This was always my go-to. So it's just a little one. You pull it down, push it out, and then obviously it's just a normal tampon. This one was I dropped it earlier, and Pablo was like playing with the packaging, so it all ripped. So I am not going to use that. It's just going in the bin. But for those of you that have never used a tampon, because I know quite a few people that have never used a tampon in their life, obviously it comes in this, you kind of push it in, and then when it gets wet, it expands, and it obviously just collects the blood, and then when it's full, or, you know, when you go to the toilet, you just pull it out, bin it, flush it, whatever. I don't care what you do, but get rid of it. And obviously you just bin the little tube it comes in. I think, if I'm right, this is a Tampax Compact Pearl. I think it's a pearl. And they come in the funky little packaging, obviously in a box, and then it has like S or R or whatever. So the S is for super, so it is more absorbent, it holds more. So there's that, and this used to be my go-to. I literally have a stash of them in my bathroom because I used to use them all the time. Literally every time I was on my period, I would use them. But now I find it too painful, because I don't know, it sounds strange after seeing what comes next, but I find it very painful. It's not bad if I'm just sitting at home not doing anything, but if I'm up and out and about, I find it, for some reason, after years of using them, I just find it so uncomfortable now. The next thing, this is my go-to at the moment, the thing that I use every single time I'm on my period. So it comes in a little pouch like this. Open it up. It's from the company Hey Girls, and it's a little cup like this. So they come in all different colours and stuff. I think this company has 2 different ones. So there's a white one. Don't know why you'd want white when it's literally being filled with blood, but so there's a white one, which is a smaller one for people that generally haven't given birth. And then there's this one, which they say is red, but it's actually pink, and this is sort of their bigger one, which is for people that have given birth. I technically have given birth twice, but not to a fully grown baby, but because my periods are so heavy, these hold more. So these hold up to, well, you've got little measurements on the side, and here is 15 mil. So basically, I'll put pictures on screen. I'll put the link of this one that I use. This one's great. But basically, you fold it however you want, put it in, and you're good to go about your day. So there's different ways to fold. I will put a picture on screen and links to things. There's like the punch down, so you literally punch it down, pinch it and put it in, just literally like in. There's the C fold, so you do it like that. It looks like a C. But then you've got the 7 fold, which is not 7 folds, because that's what I thought when I first seen it. So it's like that, so it kind of looks like a 7, not really, but there's all different ones. I kind of just use whatever, because when I'm going to put it in, as long as it's in and it does its job, I don't care. So basically, once it's in, this is grim that I'm even doing this, but imagine like, I can't even do it like this. So imagine like this is it inside you. When you want to take it out, you literally just pull it out and then make sure you catch it. And then if you're like me and weird and I am weird, that's a lie. I record the amount of blood loss because sometimes it is ridiculous amounts and I find I get more poorly with it. So I have a book here. It's just a little notebook, and then I've got like a little, I have a food diary and a daily journal, so that's what that's about. So that's just like how I've laid it out. And then this one starts in May, because I only started sort of doing it in May, and it's like everything on there, and it goes through for the next few days. And then this is this month's, so it starts in June, and then we got to yesterday, and I've not filled it out this morning because I do it once in the morning, once in the evening. But basically, take this out, read how much it's collected. You can kind of gather how much it is between the lines as well. If you're like over 7.5 but not quite 15, you can sort of work it out. And once I've taken it out, I'll empty the blood, I'll rinse it under hot water. Apparently you don't have to rinse it every time, you don't have to clean it every time, but I like to, because obviously you're going to be touching it and you're going to get bloody. So I literally sort of pull it out, and once it's full it's easier to balance because it's not floppy, and I'll just sort of hold it like that, check, pour it into the toilet, rinse it, put it back in, or whatever I'm doing. If it's at night, I'll just sort of wash it, put it back in its bag, and just put pad on, because I don't want to sleep in this in case it moves, because that'll be messy. But yeah, I'll just take a note in my phone once I've washed my hands and everything, and then I'll write it down at the end of the day. And with this cup, I always put panty liner on. This is obviously, as you can see, a really thin one. I think this is always, but I'm not sure. I have lots of different ones, but I've got black ones actually, and I wear them when I'm not on my period or anything, because when I'm on my period and I'm using my cup, I'd like to have a white one so I can see if I've leaked, whereas a black one you can't really see. I'm not going to get one out, I can't be bothered to move. But yeah, so I've got black ones as well, quite odd. I got them from Superdrug. But yeah, I will always put panty liner on just in case a leak. And for all you heavy period girls, you know what that's like. And then it's just your general pad. I'm not going to open this because it's the body form ones that have the sticky sides, so you can sort of roll it back up. But yes, at night I will always put pad on because, as I said, I don't want the cup to leak. And then I can't remember off the top of my head how much a pad holds. This one is just a normal one, so like if I wake up at like 6 in the morning and go to the toilet, I'll put one of those on, because I know I'm going to be getting up in a few hours. Whereas if I'm going to bed at like 11 o'clock and then I'm hoping I'm going to sleep through until like 8 in the morning or something, I'll just put like a really thick one on. I'll see if, ooh, had a hiccup there. See if I can find a picture to like the thicker sort of nightimey ones, but I'll put them on because things get messy. And I always tend to wear dark coloured pants just in case, and dark trousers, but I'm very paranoid. Like, I always wear long tops. Currently this is not a long top, but I'm just in the house and I can get changed in a little while. But yeah, if I'm going out and about, I'll always wear a long top as well and take like a hoodie or something with me, so if anything does leak I can sort of cover it up. But yeah, when I'm on my period, if I'm going out and I know I'm not going to be near like a shop where I can pop into if I need to or whatever, I will always take a spare pad and spare pants just in case. But yeah, I think if you get any of the symptoms I've mentioned, definitely go to see a doctor. Another big thing, I don't know if it's the same for everyone with endometriosis, but this is a big one for me, if you lose large clots. So obviously when you're on your period you use clots, you don't use clots, that's disgusting. You lose clots anyway, but sometimes they can be like teeny tiny like this, and I think generally if it's bigger than a 20p, so about this big, you should contact a doctor. So my smallest ones are usually about this big, and my biggest ones have been about tennis ball sized, so you can imagine how unpleasant that is. Yeah, so again, lots of painkillers, but it's a hard thing to deal with. But I hope this has sort of informed you a little bit more. But yes, I will put links to the cup, I will put links to the bracelet company, and I'll link the, went to pick this up and I'm swinging a tampon around my hand. Oh, but I'll link like the tampons, the pads and the heat patches and everything, and I'll put a link to the really cute hot water bottle I have. I will insert a picture of that. It's like a little teddy bear thing, you put the hot water bottle in and then you can strap it around you. So apparently it's good up to a size 16 to 18, and I'm usually between a 16 and 18, usually a 16, on a bloaty day I'm an 18, but recently when I've been on my periods, like the last month and this month especially, I get so bloaty I go up to like a 22, and that's bad, that's really bad. So yeah, literally one day you can see me and I'll be my normal size 16, and then like you can see me 2 days later and I'll be up to a 22 because I've bloated so much. So it's lots of leggings and stretchy joggers. But yeah, that is all for this video. I hope it was a little bit more informative and you kind of get a rough grasp of what endometriosis is now, and how you should sort of deal with it. But definitely go and see a doctor if you're experiencing any of the symptoms. It is sort of linked to anxiety and depression as well, but you could have a heavy period and anxiety and depression and it's not endometriosis, so I wouldn't weigh too heavily on the anxiety and depression side of it. It's more if you're losing large clots, it's painful to go to the toilet when you're on your period, your period's very heavy, so you're like soaking through pads and tampons or filling cups within an hour or so. You know, anything like that, pain during sex or after sex, anything like that, you should go and see a doctor. But yes, I am very grateful for everyone that has come back to my channel once again and watched. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section, or you can follow my social medias. I'll put them in the links. I'll put the links to them in the description below. I'll also put the link to my endometriosis Instagram, like that's my sort of my like blog account, and that kind of really gets into the nitty-gritty pictures of cysts and all sorts. But again, cysts is a different story. But yes, thank you so much for coming back, and I will see you next time. Bye.